So let's start with the overview and discuss the background of behavioral incidents. So what are the expectations? The CDE will collect incident data from LEAs as part of the end of year 3 submission. LEAs should be collecting student incident data ongoing in their local student information systems throughout the year. This includes the use of restraints and seclusions that occurred between July 1st and June 30th of the academic year. So what are the incidents that are required? LEA should report all incidents for K through 12 students who were involved in an incident that resulted in either a student offense or an occurrence of restraint and seclusion. Please note the education codes that define and outline the student offenses, 48900 or 48915, or restraint and seclusion, 49005 and 49006.4. Also note that all students with disabilities, including infants, toddlers, and pre-kindergarten, who were involved in an incident that resulted in a student offense, again, or an occurrence of restraint and seclusion, should be reported as well. So as you are gathering data for these incidents throughout the year in your student information system, your LEA should have local procedures in place so that you can share this information with school sites and they know what to collect. Things like the incident date, students involved, the student offense, the incident's results, the discipline authority, alternative settings, instructional support are all important elements of an incident. The LEA, as well as the MPS schools that support the LEA students, must be able to collect this data. So there are several different ways to report an incident. There are several different scenarios in which incidents have different data types. Here we have an example of 4 different incidents. In scenario 1, we have a single student incident where the student committed multiple offenses. You can see 2 circular bubbles for the 2 offense records. In scenario 2, we have a single student incident where no offenses occurred. We still have the student incident record and then a result record. In scenario 3, we have a single student incident with a single offense. So you have an incident record, a result record, and the offense record. And then in scenario 4, we have multiple student incidents with multiple offenses committed. To facilitate this data collection, the former student discipline file was disabled. This led to a batch file format change, a new submission sequence, user interface displaying functionality changes, new IVRs and new CVRs, and new incidents reports. So we said goodbye to the discipline file. The discipline file restructuring allows for incident results to be reported for a student within a single incident. The LEA will need to submit separate incident result records for each. So again, multiple incident results can be reported for a student within a single incident. No more final disciplinary action. Also, the restructuring allows for the reporting of incidents unrelated to statutory offenses. So incidents that are not tied to offenses outlined in the Ed Code can be reported. Again, restraints and seclusion. And the last thing that the discipline file restructuring provides is that it allows for student incidents to be reported that are not associated to discipline. You can have an incident, a behavioral emergency, and that is now reported. The result of the discipline restructure introduces 3 different file types: the student incident, the SINC, the student incident result, the SIRS, and the student offense, the SOF. So here we have a view of the record relationships. And of course, to submit any student profile data, you must have the enrollment record that establishes ownership. That's a basic concept in CalPADS. If you do have ownership of the student's records, you can submit the SINC. The SINC must be submitted first, establishing the incident and the student involved in the incident. After submitting the SINC, you can submit the student results, the SIRS, or any student offenses, the SOF, as needed. One thing to understand is every sync record requires a results record. However, SOF or student offense records are only applicable if there are offenses to report. There is no relationship or sequence between the SOF and the SIRS. They just have to be reported after the sync. The student incident or sync file format is used to submit the individual students associated with a single incident and establish the incident occurrence date. One of the key fields is the incident ID. What is the purpose of the incident ID? Each incident must have a unique identifier. The incident ID will tie the three incident files submitted, the sync, the SIRS, and SOF together. The student incident results file format is used to submit incident results associated with a single incident. For each incident, one or more incident results may be submitted per student. The unique incident ID is required to correspond with each existing sync record. All students must have the same academic year, school of attendance, and incident ID to be shared in the incident. Each student involved in an incident must have a separate incident results record. What are incident results? They are disciplinary actions such as suspensions, expulsions, and other means of correction, even law enforcement actions. They also are non-disciplinary actions such as restraints and seclusion or no action at all. So let's look at student offenses. This file format is used to submit individual student offenses per Education Code 48900 and 48915. For each incident, a student offense record is required for any student who committed offense. All offenses within the incident must have the same academic year, school of attendance, and incident ID. For students committing multiple offenses within a single incident, a separate student offense record is needed for each of the different offenses. So to be clear, what is a statutory offense? Statutory offenses are reportable offenses pursuant of Education Code 48900 and 48915. Students may be suspended or expelled only if they commit an offense found in these ed codes.